Hello my friends and welcome to another Beardy David video. For anybody who follows me on Instagram, about 3 weeks ago I asked you lovely people to send me in your questions all to do about films and TV, and you came through. I had plenty of questions, so I've got loads. I'm really shocked at the amount of questions I got. So I'm just going to get cracking straight into them. Apologies, I didn't write down because I actually got some questions that were a bit similar, so I didn't write down usernames, so I didn't want anybody to move that. But if you hear your question, you know it's been answered. Okay, so let's just get straight into it. Question, I've got my laptop in front of me, so I will be looking down a little bit because it was just too much just to all know off the old noggin, if you know what I mean. So the first question, because I will forget the number of questions as well. So what is your go-to comfort film? Now, it very much depends on the season for me. So I've actually got 4 comfort films, one for each season. At the minute, we're at the tail end of summer. So my summer go-to comfort film is Chef. Autumn, it is Pride. Winter, this is a new one from last year, which is Let It Snow. I love Let It Snow. I've got a bit of addiction with that. I love the music from Let It Snow. And then in spring is We Bought a Zoo. There you go. It's lovely 4 very comforting films if you've seen them. Next question. What was your favourite TV programme as a child? Oh my God, loads. I couldn't pick one when I started thinking about this. I'm just going to read you out a small list. Gummy Bears, DuckTales, Chip and Dale, Funhouse, SMTV Live, Live and Kicking, Arthur, Gladiators. I loved TV as a kid. I mean, I still love TV now, but I loved it as a kid. Yeah, I was very much a big TV fan. Next question. Do you prefer the animated or live action Disney movies? Animated. Disney animation was, is, and always will be my favourite. Some of the live action stuff is great, don't get me wrong, but it's the animation is what I'm there for Disney with. Have you seen the Dark Crystal film and/or TV series on Netflix? Oh, no, it petrified me as a child. Any kind of like puppetry, unless it was the Muppets, because I felt like all of like the Dark Crystal and like even the Labyrinth ones used to scare the hell out of me just because they just looked creepy. But I will give it a go, the Netflix one. If I go straight into the Netflix film, would I need to have seen the original Dark Crystal movie? Because I don't know. Yeah, I think I'll probably give it a try at some point. What is your favourite film? This has changed on and off in the past couple of years. Always was Back to the Future, but now is Chef. Chef is just the perfect film. Very little peril, amazing amazing food, amazing music. It's just a great fun storyline. It's brilliant. And Jon Favreau is my hero. Is my movie hero. Any movie recommendations? So right, what have I seen lately? Knives Out, Troop Zero, Eurovision, the story of Fire and Saga, that was good fun. Dating Amber on Amazon Prime, that's good. If you're a fan of Downton Abbey, watch the film. It is just like a bloody great big long episode of Downton Abbey. If you don't like Downton Abbey, you are not going to like it. The Gentleman. I actually went to see Tenet yesterday. It was okay. It's very, very loud. It's very loud. I mean, cinematography wise, it's incredible. Some of the action scenes is fantastic. Storyline, I don't know what the hell's going on. I'm gonna have to do a lot of research into that. What 2 films would you smash together to make one ultimate film? Now, this took a long time. I could have gone for like 2 obvious ones, but I had a good think about it. I wanted to go for 2 that wasn't necessarily deemed as good films. So, I mean, one of them I really enjoyed. So, Ready Player One, and I'm going to mash it with Super Mario Brothers the movie. Because we deserve, because as a kid, I loved the Mario Brothers movie. I'm fully aware it is one of the worst films ever made, but at the time, I think I remember writing it in a book about all of my favourite scenes. And then I probably felt silly about it, so I threw it away. But yeah, we deserve a decent Super Mario Brothers movie, and it has to be half live action, half animation, like CGI, like as it was in the Ready Player One world. I mean, could you imagine using the Oasis world to incorporate a Mario Kart race? That would be pretty darn cool. So that's what I'm going for on that one. Let me scroll up my laptop. Which sequel do you prefer the original to? Toy Story 2. The jump in animation from Toy Story 1 to Toy Story 2 was incredible, and the character development, it was spot on. Even all like the new characters were brilliant. It's just so good. Like, I haven't seen The Godfathers, and I'm told that The Godfather Part 2 is one of the best sequels. I'm going to watch The Godfather. That is on my to watch list. The ever expanding to watch list for everyone. But yes, but Toy Story 2, I think it's one of the funniest Pixar films of all time. Like, just let alone for a sequel. What is the first film you remember watching? I remember going to my little local cinema in a little screen with my mum to watch DuckTales Treasure of the Lost Lab, which is on Disney Plus. I might have to revisit it. The only thing I can really remember about that is one of the wishes is for ice cream, and it rains these big, massive, like these balls of ice cream, and it looks amazing. Who is your favourite director and composer? The director, it's an obvious choice, but it's Mr. Steven Spielberg. Grew up watching his films, still love them to this day, like from like Jurassic Park all the way up to like Ready Player One, which it gets a bit of a bad rep, but I really like it. I think it's such an easy watch film, and it's like no nonsense, you know what you're getting, and like all the nostalgia. I'm a very nostalgic person. I love revisiting like things from the past and stuff, so that's why I always love a bit of Steven Spielberg. And an honourable mention has to go to Greta Gerwig, because I think she's going to be amazing. I loved everything that she's done. Like Frances Ha was awesome. Really love Little Women. We've got Little Women on Blu-ray, and I think we're watching it. Hopefully tonight we're going to be watching it. Looking forward to watching that again. Composer Alan Silvestri, purely for Back to the Future. That is enough of a reason. And also because he's done a few Marvel films, and he done Endgame and Portals. That from Endgame, which is when, spoiler alert if you haven't seen it already, which is when all the guys come back together. That is amazing. I listen to that quite regularly. Sticking with Marvel, what's your favourite Marvel film? Guardians of the Galaxy. We was on when we used to have cinema cards, we went and watched like a double bill. Can't remember what the other film was, but we thought we'd give this a go. I wasn't really expecting much, but it blew my mind. It was so good, so funny. Love Guardians of the Galaxy. What's your guilty pleasure film? Roadhouse. I had to have a little look up for what was classed as guilty pleasure, and some I wasn't too sure about because I thought they were a bit too mainstream. But Roadhouse with Patrick Swayze, where he's a bouncer and he goes to some like rough little town that's owned by some weird little man, and he takes him on, and there's lots of awful fight scenes, but really good. There's one bit where he like rips out a man's like collarbone. It's proper weird, but it's really good fun. I remember my friend who used to quote it all the time. There's a bit where a polar bear fell on me at the end. It's good fun. I really enjoy Roadhouse. Now, I know my friend, my new friend, Graham, who I talk to quite a lot on Twitter and Instagram, he asked for this, so a little special shout out to him. He put, would you have survived if you were in the first Jurassic Park film? I love this question. And I've got to be honest, I think I would, but I would definitely be the character who I would just pretty much be glued to the hero throughout. I would be just making sure that I'm with him or her because I know that they're going to save the day. You know, and sometimes I would definitely be a pain in not want to do something, you know, if there was like a cliff to jump over, I'd be like, I don't want to do it, but they would give me the courage to do it. And then at the end, you know, there'd be some sort of velociraptor and I would finally be like, right, I'm going to do this, and then I'd save them. So I think I would survive, but I would be a pain to the main hero and heroine of the movie. Talk about Letterboxd. Do you like using it to catalogue what you watch? I love using Letterboxd. This is a new app that has come to me recently in the past year. Use it to document all of my films. I didn't do a backlog. I've just started fresh from 2020 and what I've watched. I think I've watched nearly 200 films this year because of the pandemic. I'd much rather not have had a pandemic, but I've certainly got through a lot of films. Like over 100 new films I've watched this year. That was my target. Absolutely smashed it. But I'm going to do a separate video all about Letterboxd and show you some bits from any guys who's not on it yet. So I definitely think it's worth investing in. And it's a great way just to document it all, and you can leave reviews and and you can follow people and see what else is watching, get movie recommendations. It's really good. So I will talk into that further in another video. What TV show do you watch again and again? The UK version of The Office. If I'm ever a little bit blue and I need a quick pick-me-up, I'll watch The Office UK. It's the UK version of The Office is so funny. It's good fun, so awkward. It's brilliant. If you could recast any movie, what would it be and who would you cast instead? Now, there's a little screenshot which I will put in here for everyone to have a look at, and you will now know the answer already. It is Ghostbusters, and I would recast it with the cast of Stranger Things. Because that photo, that just looks like just start them off at their age and then just build them up. I know they've got the new one coming out, The Afterlife, which I think has got one of them from Stranger Things in. But now, scrap that, get these 4 in, perfect, that is sorted already. Are you a Friends fan? I was. We tried to watch it when it first came back on Netflix and it had aged terribly. And Ross treats Rachel like crap. He is so mean to her, and it's very homophobic as well, so kind of got given up with watching that again. But leading on for that, your favourite Friends episode, still remember when I watched it back in the day, it was the one with the football where Monica and Ross battle for the Geller Cup. And again, I think it's in like the 3rd or 4th series, it's quite early, and they go out into a little park and Joey and Chandler fight over a woman, obviously, as they always used to do. And I also like the one where they have the battle for the apartment and they do the quiz. That's a good episode as well. Your all-time top 5 box sets. Ooh, this was a bit of a toughie, but I narrowed it down in the end. Number 1, my favourite one, is Studio 60 on the Sunset Strip. Not very well known. I know a few of my friends who have watched it and they love it. It was only ever done for 1 season. I think it was like 24 episodes, but it was fantastic. Absolutely heartbroken that it wasn't carried on. Yeah, fantastic. If you've never seen it, try and find it and give it a try. I remember I bought the box set off of eBay for like £2. It's very, very good. Next is New Girl. Fantastic. New Girl is all over like Amazon Prime and Netflix and stuff like that. Modern Family. Brilliant, really good fun. Mitch and Cam, two of my favourite TV characters. Parks and Rec. Without Parks and Rec, we might have not have gotten Chris Pratt and Amy Poehler. She is hilarious in it, but there's more about her in a second. And Gavin and Stacey, my favourite ever UK TV series. Can't be Gavin and Stacey. That, if you want a warm, gooey feeling, watch a bit of Gavin and Stacey. It's James Corden at his best. For any American people watching who only know him from the Late Late Show, yeah, that was for me. That is the peak of his career so far. Is being Smithy from Gavin and Stacey. If you had to binge a TV show over a weekend, which one would you pick? Now, I probably would go, although it's not my favourite, I probably would go for Parks and Rec because it is brilliant and I love Amy Poehler, and she's just, her character is fantastic. She's so upbeat and brilliant. When you're feeling a bit blue, she is another great, just in general, the show is great to go to, like Chris Pratt's character as well. Can't remember any of the characters right now, but it's a really good, fun cast that's got lots of different personalities in it. And just have a little YouTube of some of the outtakes. There was a very funny one with Chris Pratt talking about Kim Kardashian. I don't want to say any more, but have a little look, and that's one of the funniest outtakes ever. What's your favourite thing about movies? It's the story. I was given some options in one of the other questions that was similar to this, but it's the story for me. I don't care about how much money's in it, what cast is in it, but if the story is poor, for me, you'll lose me quickly, and I'll be on my phone, or I would have turned it off after the first 10 minutes, which there's many films that I've done. Because if anything, if the cast is bad, like if it's like a low budget, like Channel 5 Christmas movie, if the cast is bad, I still enjoy it because, you know, they're still trying and they're still having fun with it, which makes it fun for me. But yeah, if there's no story there, then there's no me there, pretty much. Is there one movie that you wish you could get the time spent watching it back? Not really one, but it's more like a day of movies. So when Lauren and I had movie passes, we went to the cinema one Sunday and we watched 3 films in a row. We watched The Fifth Estate, which was all about the WikiLeaks with Benedict Cumberbatch. Then there was a 2013 version of Romeo and Juliet. I can't remember if it starred anybody decent. Maybe. No, can't think of anyone. And then we watched Sunshine on Lee, which was the film based on all the songs by the Proclaimers. All films were not David-friendly films. Oh man, I really struggled. At the end of the day, I love Lauren. I don't think Lauren enjoyed them very much either, but well, it was just felt like one of the most wasted days of our relationship, just because all three films were so rubbish. A film everyone loved but you hated, The Greatest Showman. I did not like that film. I don't even want to get into like my feelings for the P.T. Barnum side of things, but because it's just horrendous that this film was even made. But just in general, I didn't like the storyline. I thought the characters were very weak. Still love the songs. I fully appreciate that the songs are amazing, but it was just such a biggest disappointment. I definitely. People say that if you go and watch a film with somebody and that person doesn't like the film next to you, then that affects you. And even after 5 minutes, I remember going to Lauren saying, "This is rubbish. Like, I just don't have a good feeling about this movie." And we just walked out, and I've never walked out of a cinema so disappointed, because when I remember watching the trailer for that, I was like, this is my film. This is going to be amazing. Like, because I already knew a few of the songs, and the cast were initially great on paper, but it just didn't work for me. Very sad that I didn't like that film, but never mind. Is there a movie that has made you emotional, and what film has made you cry? Oh, this is just a small list of, any Pixar movie. Up, Inside Out. We Bought a Zoo, I'm in tears over. Pride, I'm in tears over. Little Women, I cried. Hidden Figures. Remember the Titans. Oh man, that's just a tiny teardrop in a fountain of tears that I shed when watching films. It doesn't take me much. What type of TV show do you like? I love a comedy or / dramedy. I've just started watching Suits from the beginning. I'm nearly about halfway through the 9 seasons. And that's a bit like dramedy type thing. I'm enjoying Suits. I've got to admit, it's not the best thing I've ever watched, but I'm definitely invested in it now. If you could change the ending to a film, what would you choose, and what would be the ending? Now, I would change Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2. I'm very, very curious to see what would happen if Voldemort would have beaten Harry and Harry would have died. You know, would he have killed all the Muggles and all the Half-Bloods, so it was just like pure wizards, or would he have done good? Would he have been like, right, I actually want to like use the wizards to make the Muggles better people? Who knows? Like, nobody knew his master plan in the end. So yeah, I'm gonna go for a Voldemort win over Harry being my alternate ending to a film. What is your favourite Christmas film and why? I mentioned it earlier. It is Let It Snow. I enjoy film when there's lots of little stories and then they all come together, and in this, it's the perfect coming together when they like lots of like little mini love stories and finding yourself. And there's a lovely version that they sing of Whole of the Moon, which is a big favourite song in this house. And then they all get together for a big Christmas party finale. Gives me all the Christmassy vibes, and it's definitely one of the best Christmas films I've ever watched. And all of the music that's in it is great, because I love to find new Christmas music instead of all the old traditional like Mariah Carey stuff. And there was a lot of new stuff in here that is on my Spotify playlist, and I will be allowed to start to listen to it very, very soon. Who would play you in a movie about your life? Either Josh Gad, you all know him as Olaf from Frozen, or Chris Sullivan. Now, he was, Ray Laserface in Guardians of the Galaxy 2, and he is also in This Is Us. He plays Kate's husband. I forget his name at the minute, but I'll pop a picture of the pair of them in, and then you can make a decision who you think. They're big lads, they're good lads, and I really like them. I think they would both represent me the best in a movie. Favourite snack to eat watching films? Now, there's two different bases you have to have. You have to have a savoury and a sweet. And for me, a savoury snack has to be a pizza. Yes, that could be a snack because you can slice it up. And for sweet, Ben & Jerry's birthday cake ice cream. I've got a proper addiction to birthday cake ice cream at the minute. It's delicious, and Ben & Jerry's is the best version. What films / TV shows remind you of family? TV show, Gavin and Stacey. My family, we love to quote that quite a lot, especially me and my sister. Film-wise, Mary Poppins. I think I wore that VCR out as a kid, making my two sisters watch it with me. That's a big family favourite in our one. And also, a special one for like me and my dad is National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Me and him, we used to watch that a lot when I used to live at home with them. It's mine and my dad's film. We really like that movie. I remember often he would be up early on Christmas Day, and when he got a bit older, I would get up and he'd be cutting and prepping the veg, and I would go down and watch it with him. It's just a traditional classic film, isn't it? Most underrated Disney character and why? So I found him through watching all of the Disney movies in one of my Disney marathons, and it's Sir Hiss from Robin Hood. What a fun little character he was. He's definitely one of the funniest Disney characters that has been made. And I just love his name, Sir Hiss, for a snake. What a silly name that just fits perfectly. Every scene he was in, I was laughing, whether it just be him himself or the way that Prince John would treat him. It's like, Sir Hiss, Sir Hiss. It's really good. I really, it's such a funny character. And now one of my top Disney films. The film that started your love of films is Toy Story. I remember my mum and dad were going away on holiday, and I was still, I still remember like watching Lion King and DuckTales at the cinema, and stuff like basically a lot of Disney when I was growing up. It's standard, wasn't it? And I remember mum and dad going away on holiday, and I had to stay around my auntie and uncle's for a few days, and mum and dad presented me with the Toy Story VCR to like keep me busy, and I didn't stop watching it for the whole time I was away. Yes, what's up? She wants a bit of attention, I think, once I've done filming this. And it just blew my mind watching Toy Story for the first time. And I think I probably watched it about 8 or 9 times over those past few days that my mum and dad was away. Oh my God, it was just, I never knew that film could be like that. Could just the animation and the story and the love that got put into a film. I think that's when it kind of clicked to me. It's like, films are amazing, and I think from then on, that's when I started to look at films in a different way, and not as just a way to pass the time, but to actually, watch and learn and things like that. Film you used to love but don't anymore. I used to love Dumbo. I don't anymore. I refuse to watch the live version of it, because if it's anything like the live action remake of Pete's Dragon, it will be horrendous and almost like torture to watch, just because it's so sad. Never ever watch the Pete's Dragon live version. It is heartbreaking. Like Lauren and I, we were in actual, not like sobbing movie tears, like actual, oh my God, something is about to happen, like gushing tears. It was awful. And even the animation film, I can remember like the Pink Elephants on Parade. But now she's having a right old scratch over there. She definitely wants my attention. But yeah, and the story, it's just a very sad story, is Dumbo, isn't it? I remember the good things as a kid, like Casey Jr. and Pink Elephants on Parade, and When I See an Elephant Fly. But yeah, it's not very nice, is it? He gets bullied a lot quite throughout, poor old Dumbo. Dinner with 4 fictional TV/film characters, who would it be and why? I enjoyed this question. It took me a little while to think of an answer. So, 4 guests, I would have Carl Casper from Chef. Yeah, I'd make him to cook, obviously. Jessica Day from New Girl. She'd bring all the cheer. This is kind of a double cheating one, but I would have Cam and Mitch from Modern Family. And I would also have Dorothy Vaughan from Hidden Figures. She was my favourite character. She's one of my favourite female characters in all of the movies. She was awesome. She was kick-ass, and I think she was great. And that would be a very good dinner, and Carl Casper would whip up something nice for all of us to eat. What is one of your favourite movie scores? I love the Finding Nemo movie score. It's lovely. It's so relaxing. It's beautiful. It's just, if you ever just want to relax, just pop on the Finding Nemo one and just listen to that. It's lovely. Future David here. I've had to interrupt the questions because when I filmed it first, this is now in the afternoon, this is I've started editing, and I'm filming the video on my new fancy phone, which is great. But this is probably geeky stuff. You can connect your camera to your iWatch. But what I didn't know, so I just wanted to make sure that I could see myself, blah blah blah. But what happens is that you've got a little dial on the side that when it moves, and when I move my wrist up, it was zooming in the picture and zooming out. So so actually, before you even get to this, you'll notice a couple of times where the camera moves in a little bit and then maybe moves out. That's because of me mucking about with that. So, and the last 5 minutes, it really zooms in and it just looks a bit silly. So I'm having to record this last bit again, but it doesn't matter. So I've just answered the one about Finding Nemo, so I'm going to carry on with the questions where I left off. Okay, sorry about that. So next question: what's a good distraction TV show for when you're feeling down and anxious? So I split this into two categories because sometimes when I'm feeling down, sometimes you want to cry and other times you want to laugh. So for when you want to cry, I highly recommend This Is Us. It's such a great program. If you've never seen it before, I don't even want to tell you the first episode because it spoils it. Just even if you just watch the first episode had me in buckets of tears, and every episode from the first two series, I cried. I was crying. Sometimes happy tears, sometimes sad tears. But yeah, that's definitely worth a go, and it's lots of very relatable things happen in it, and oh my god, it just really makes you cry. And distractions to make you laugh. Gavin and Stacey, which I mentioned earlier, that's brilliant. Gives you all the warm fuzzy feeling. New Girl, or just any TV Christmas specials like New Girl or Gavin and Stacey or the UK Office. I'm sure the US Office has got Christmas specials. Another one for the UK, because I don't know if the people outside the UK will find it as funny as us, but the Royal Family, they are very, very good. Like the Christmas episodes, especially the new sofa episode. That's one of Lauren and I's favourite Christmas TV specials. I'd probably say I watched that about 10 times around the festive period. Yeah. So next question: what is your favourite horror movie? Oh, I do not enjoy horror films. I'm not very good with them. I am a bit of a wuss, bit of a scaredy cat when it comes to horrors. But that being said, I can handle the Saws. I will probably say them. They're fine. They're a bit OTT. I don't mind a bit of gore. We'll stick with them. But if it's anything like monsters or jump scares, I'm out. I do not like it. I can't stand anything or like high tension things. It's just awful. Not my cup of tea. What's a film you love that Lauren doesn't? Well, there's loads. There is absolutely loads. First of all the Jackass films. I love the Jackass films. Lauren cannot stand them. All the Broken Lizard films, like Beer Fest and Super Troopers and Slamming Salmon. I love them. Lauren doesn't. What else you got? You got the National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, which I mentioned earlier. The Naked Gun series, Aeroplane. Basically, anything that involves a bit of slapstick or people voluntarily hurting themselves, Lauren does not enjoy. She cannot stand slapstick, just because it is very cute. Have you watched Vikings yet? I have not. I believe that's on Amazon Prime, isn't it? But it is on my list to give it a go. That is along with, isn't there like a piratey one? Is it just called Pirates? I'm not sure. But yeah, there's a long list of TV shows. But at the minute, I'm pretty much committed to Suits. And Lauren and I have also started watching Gilmore Girls as a side project, so I've got quite a lot to get through at the minute. What's one movie that makes you think of Lauren? So it's not really a movie, but it's on Letterboxd, so I'm going to class it as a movie, and that's Hamilton, that is now on Disney+. Now I'm a big fan of musicals, always have been. I love like Les Mis and The Lion King, like the live show as well as the Disney one. But Lauren's not a huge fan. She doesn't mind them, but she doesn't enjoy them nowhere near as much as me. That was until Hamilton came along. And now we've kind of joined forces for our first musical film. And it is Hamilton. And it's amazing. If you haven't seen it, get onto Disney Plus because that's worth the price tag alone. In fact, the songs are great, the acting. In fact, Lin-Manuel Miranda, he's a genius, and the whole of the cast in Hamilton is great. I really want to go and see it. Hopefully next year once it gets back up and running, because the guy who plays George Washington in the UK version at the minute is Trevor Dion Nicholas, who I am a massive fan of. I think I've mentioned him before in the video. That he was Genie in the UK run of Aladdin, and he was brilliant. I'd love to see him as George Washington. I bet it's great. And finally, the last question. Well done if you've managed this one, guys. And it's, do you like early films? Now, if I'm honest, I really enjoy like the movies of the 50s and the 60s, but I've not really gone any much further back than that. So when you're talking about 20s, 30s and 40s movies, apart from the Snow Whites and the Dumbos, all the Disney films that they released back then, I haven't seen any others. I'd be really up for watching more movies, you know, from the golden era, from when they started it all. But what are the best ones? Does anybody know where I should start in looking for films? You know, give me some suggestions of some good old school movies, and maybe I'll do like a video dedicated to 20s, 30s and 40s films. Yeah, it sounds like a good idea. I'll be up for that. Oh, there's somebody here. Hold on. Oh, there you go. Always gets interrupted right at the end of the video. So there we go. That was all of the questions. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much if you put a question in. I really did enjoy answering them. It was good fun. As you all know, I love talking about movies and TV and stuff like that, which is pretty much what I do my whole life. But hey ho, that's what I love. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye.